Okay, perfect. I wanted to thank you all for coming to today's welcome webinar. I will give you some last minute tips, pieces of information, resources that you'll be able to use in order to survive your first weeks and months here in Wrocław at the university. I think I will take about 30 minutes of your time, and then we can answer any questions you might still have. First of all, I wanted to thank our generous sponsors, the Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange, because this webinar is part of the Welcome Day within the project Optimizing Comprehensive Student Service at the Wrocław University of Environmental and Life Sciences, through organizing a welcome point and increased participation of international students in promotional activities financed by the Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange under the Welcome to Poland program. As you can see, you can also participate in those promotional activities, but I will tell you a bit more about that later on. So I wanted to maybe remind some of you and maybe actually tell some of you for the first time something about the university. So the university has just celebrated its 70th anniversary. According to the most influential Polish rankings, it's the best university focused on agricultural and life sciences. We have around 8,000 students, so not too much, not too few, just the right size to be able to get to know everyone, but also have a wide choice of friends, classmates. Also, we have 44 student research associations. You'll be able to become members of many of them during your study. You'll be able to, for example, do your own research, participate in academic conferences, co-author scientific papers. So this is definitely something you want to remember about. We also have 10 clubs, organizations, creative groups, among them, for example, the university choir or the folk dance group. So of course, you're welcome to join them as well. I will send you all a link to all organizations that are available with contact information so that you know what you can do apart from studying really hard. We also have 20 different types of sports classes. Everyone is obliged to do a class of physical education, but as you can see, there are many, many different options. Everyone will find something that they like. We have aqua aerobics, Nordic walking, fitness, or even chess, if you're not the athletic type. We also have many international cooperation programs, for example, Erasmus+, Fulbright, DAAD, and also the International Veterinary Students Association that lets you go on exchange and, for example, do scholarships abroad. We also offer scholarships for achievements, for academic achievements, and also achievements in sports or arts. So definitely something to remember about in your second year when you actually are able to present those achievements, hopefully. 2 of our faculties have the highest possible rating, A+, for research and teaching quality. One of them is veterinary medicine, which is also approved all over Europe and also in other places that cooperate with the European Association of Establishments for Veterinary Education. So if you'd like to know some of our international students, if you want to prepare, see what it's like, you can find them on our YouTube channel. One of them actually has just graduated from veterinary medicine, so you might want to hear what she has to say about the university. Some of you are already here and have had the opportunity to see everything. Some of you are still waiting for the flights, so maybe you will be a bit more calm and reassured after you actually hear some of our students who have made it before you. So the main point of this webinar is also to introduce our welcome point. What we do, our staff can help you with the following issues: dealing with other departments of the university, for example, dorms, the dean's office, information about the city, tips before coming to Poland and settling in. Also, we can help you understand and follow official procedures in Poland, for example, applying for your residence permit or recognizing your diploma. We can also help you with health insurance, immigration issues, legalizing your stay. We can also help you find sworn translations for your documents. and explore options for learning the Polish language and culture. We are available Monday, Friday, noon, 3 p.m. The address is the same as the admissions office. The welcome point is sectioned off, but if you have been to the admissions office, then you know where to find us. We have a separate email for the welcome point, which you can use together with admission@upwr, just however you see fit. If you think it's more of an inquiry for the welcome point, then of course, please feel free to use the welcome email. If you think it's still about admissions, you're welcome to use admissions as well. Of course, if you have any questions, please take notes. You can also type them in the chat. I will answer everything at the end. So I wanted to give you some resources to actually help you find your way around the university. I will send you all the presentation right after the webinar, so you'll be able to access all links. But as many of you who are living at the dorm have already realized, we have two campuses. One of them is near Plac Grunwaldzki, near the admissions office and the main building of the faculty. The other one is about 10 minutes by bus away from the main campus. It's near the dorm. Also, you will have some of your classes there, for example, anatomy. So you will have to do some commute between the two campuses, but thankfully they're close to each other and very well commuted, so it should not be a problem. On our website, you can access an interactive map of the university. Also, a list of all buildings with their addresses, so you can always find the place you're looking for. We also have the option to search all staff members with their contact info, like emails and phone numbers. And also, we have a section of the website where you can find all units of the university. So, for example, you can see if there is an office dedicated to the inquiry or the problem you're having at the moment, or you can see if there is for example, a research group that you'd be interested in joining. Basic information, I think important for everyone involved, is that the academic year is divided into 2 semesters. Each semester is graded separately, so you need to pass both semesters. I've also included a link to the academic calendar. The winter semester starts today, ends by the end of February. The summer semester begins in March and lasts until the end of September. Of course, that includes also the summer vacation. So classes usually end in late June, early July. Please remember that attendance is mandatory. So if you need to miss a class, please check in with your teacher and note their policies, just so you know how to make up for it and how not to get yourself into trouble. Your timetable is already available on the website. I've also included a link. The Dean's Office should tell you very soon what groups you belong to. They will just divide you automatically and sign you up for all necessary subjects, so there's nothing to worry about regarding this. If you really feel like you want to be in a different group, please talk to the Dean's Office, see if there is a place. You will also need to follow our study regulations, also included in the link. The most important parts, as again, about attendance, about credits, passing the semester, and all those other things. You can just skim through it and take a look. Your lecturers and the Dean's Office will be the first points of contact in most situations related to your classes. So if you have any problems with, for example, the everyday things or with settling in, please do contact the welcome point. If you have problems, for example, with your classes, lecturers, or passing the semester, hopefully not, then please contact the Dean's Office. You can track your final grades and classes in the USOS system, which is the student system many of you have already been transferred to. You can also use your official email address, which many of you again also have. You will also be signed up for the library on Monday during the welcome day. Accommodation, scholarships, student activities are governed by the Student Affairs Center, so I've also included a link to them just in case. Now I'd like to tell you something about the formalities many of you will have to face moving into Poland or living there. You'll need to register your residence in Poland within 4 days of arrival for non-EU students. So those of you who are not European citizens, please do remember to actually complete this requirement. Upon doing so, you automatically receive a PESEL number, which is the citizen evidence number. You can also request just the PESEL number if you cannot register your address for some reason. We have more information about this in Dream Apply, so I've included a link. There is also another thing, which is the temporary residence permit. Please notice that this is not connected to temporary residence registration. It's a separate procedure. Those of you who needed visas to come and study in Poland will be able to apply for the temporary residence permit. In order to study in Poland, you need to apply before your visa expires. I've also included more information from websites that you can visit to find out more. Next thing is health insurance. Those of you who are European citizens, please do get a European health insurance card that will actually make it possible for you to access public healthcare in Poland. Those of you who are not European citizens can sign up for health insurance with the Polish National Health Fund. The cost is about 55 Polish zloty, which is about maybe 15 euro per month. So definitely worth it. Even if you have private insurance, it's also worth it to have public healthcare just in case something happens that's not covered by the private insurer. If you want to open a bank account, most bigger banks offer some form of support in English. In order to open your account, you'll need your passport, student ID, and if you're underage, your parents' permission. So if your parents are still here and you're underage and you'd like an account, please, maybe this is the time just in order to avoid any difficulties later on. If you'd like to get a part-time job or even a full-time job, you can with no additional permits. You just have to make sure you can actually reconcile it with studying. When it comes to everyday life, something that many of you have asked is transport. You can get an urban card to hold your digital tickets, or you can activate your student ID to do the same. Each city in Poland has different tickets, so the tickets will only work here in Wrocław, but your ID will always get you a student discount on transport all over Poland as long as it's valid. You can apply online to activate the ID, and then you will need to complete the last step in person. Until the 15th of November, you can do it in the building right next to the building of the admissions office. So we definitely recommend doing that. You should receive your IDs on the welcome day, most likely. You can also buy tickets using your credit card on the tram or bus. The ticket machines have touch screens, so you need to touch the machine, choose the type of ticket, and then pay with your credit card. Also, there are machines on bigger bus stops. You can also use the Urban Card application, but it's possible it may not work with an international phone number. Also, the app I've recommended is jakdojadę.pl. Works really good for planning public transport in any bigger city in Poland. You just have to tell the app point A, point B. The app tells you how to get there, what buses to take, how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take. You can also rent bikes and even electric scooters just to complement buses and trams. Of course, we also have bike stands near the university, so you can just bike to your classes with no problems. I also wanted to tell you about something that sometimes people overlook, which is public holidays. Most institutions in Poland work Monday, Friday. Most shops are closed on Sundays, so you need to plan ahead. Additionally, even businesses that are normally open may be closed for holidays, which are listed below. Most of them are also days off for students, and also you may get additional days off if the holiday falls near a weekend, just to make it one long weekend for students to have some time to relax. I also wanted to tell you about Wrocław, the place some of you already have visited, or the place you are heading to. It's the fourth biggest city in all of Poland, the biggest city in the western part of the country. It's the capital of the province of Lower Silesia. The city is quite special because there are 12 islands and over 100 bridges, 5 main rivers. The biggest one is the Oder. So the city is sometimes nicknamed the Venice of the North because of all the rivers, canals. It is also known as the meeting place, a city that's young, dynamic, diverse, open to new people, somewhere everyone can feel at home. I think you will also like the fact that Wrocław is home to over 100,000 students. You'll definitely find many people from all over the world to maybe actually make friends with. There are 200 bars, clubs, and restaurants just around the Market Square area. There are many events, festivals that you can attend. Maybe not quite as many now, but I hope that by the time you finish your degree, you'll definitely have the opportunity to experience that. When you need peace and quiet, there are also dozens of parks and even forests in the city, so it's perfectly possible to also just go somewhere green and relax. There are also of course, options to explore the area around the city. For example, to go hiking to the nearby hills, or maybe even visit the Sudety Mountains, which are only about a 2 hours drive south. So you can definitely make it just a day trip, go there for the weekend. Wrocław is also located in almost the very center of Europe. So all European capitals are within a 4 hours drive or 3 hours flight. So you can just visit practically all Europe with Wrocław as your starting point. I also gave you some resources for international students. There is the Wro Migrant Guide provided by the city. They also have information points where you can go, or you can call them for advice if you feel like you need someone to help you solve your problems. The mayor of Wrocław also has an advisor for tolerance and counteracting xenophobia. I also included his email address. So if you have any problems of that nature, there is someone to help you. Also, I wanted to tell especially our non-EU students about the additional support provided by the Voivodeship Office. They will help you with applications for temporary residence permit. They will tell you what attachments you need. They will help you fill it in. They can also offer advice regarding other formalities like car renting, car registrations, renting apartments, disputes with landlords or employers. And they can also offer free sworn translations of documents until the funds run out. So if you are going to, for example, apply to have your diploma recognized, you should definitely contact them, because it might be really helpful for you to have someone who is willing to help you free of charge at the very place where you'll need to apply. Of course, the appointments can also be held in English. I've also included some portals with information about the city. Many of them include more practical information. Some of them also give you ideas what to do, what to see, where to go. I think that's nice as well, because studying is obviously a big part of being a student, but it's not the only thing that you'll want to actually do. There are also options to learn more about the Polish language and culture. Polish language classes are provided by the University of Wrocław and the Wrocław University of Science and Technology. They have campuses very close to ours, so it's possible to actually do everything in one place almost. There are also, of course, online courses, language exchange. More information on Polish language classes is included on Wro Migrant again. You will also all have Polish language classes as part of your course, because every degree in Poland involves a foreign language. In your case, it's going to be Polish. And just so that you can communicate better with your colleagues, future clients, and also just to make your lives easier. There is also the website of Foundation Ukraine, which offers advice regarding integration, information support. It's not only for Ukrainians. I've included 2 articles from their website, one about useful apps and websites in Poland, and another one about the psychological aspects of migration. Many of you are not considering this, but migration, or in your case, studying abroad, is a big event in your lives. There are going to be times when you're going to feel down, when you'll be homesick, or when you question yourself if you made the right decision. But you can get through it if you understand what's happening. So I encourage each of you to read this article just to be aware of what you might be feeling and how to deal with this. Please also remember that every country can have different norms, customs, manners, different levels of politeness, different ways of expressing things. And it's very normal to feel confused at first. If you just try to remember about that, if you try to understand it, I think it's going to be much easier to settle in and fit in ultimately.